Hello? Okay. Uh, Miki Matsubara. That was the artist that you were listening to. This is not a radio station. This is Social Connections Coaching Live. What's going on? How are we doing today? I hope that you're feeling well. I gotta turn this off real quick. I get so used to I guess I get so used to the background noises that I don't even pay attention to them, but you probably can't hear me. You wouldn't be able to hear me clearly if I kept my little fan on. What's going on, everybody? How are you today? Let me know where you're from, what's going on, how you feeling. Um, while I introduce myself, hello, my name is Coach Lee, Social Connections Coach. I help people make more meaningful relationships in their personal and professional life. We talk about friends, family, business, and coworkers. Those people, all the people that you hang out with, we want better relationships with those people that you can share your truth with, be open and honest. And I started this whole thing, this coaching thing, because I sucked at creating relationships. I was the worst person. It felt like I was the worst person. It felt like everybody else figured something out and they got into little cliques and their groups and they were hanging out together and they were loving up on each other, kikiing together, hanging out with each other. And I was just like, how come I can't be a part of this? What am I doing? What am I doing? Or maybe it's them. Why are they not liking me? That was more accurate. Why aren't they liking me? Why aren't they inviting me into this place and being friends with me? Well, I discovered there's a lot of reasons. And every single one of them had to do with me and how I was showing up. I was a people pleaser. I was not authentic. I was unable to actually tell people how I felt about things. And it's really because I didn't know myself. That's the number one reason that keeps us disconnected from people is we don't know what to say. We're really, really, really focused on trying to make sure that we show up for them the way we think they want us to show up. But we don't know. And we never communicate it. We'll never do that. And so what we want to do here is empower you to be your authentic self and attract the right people. That's the key to making any kind of meaningful relationships. The thing is that there are some beliefs out there that we've been indoctrinated with or we've learned and educated with, had shoved down our throats, that this is the way you should be in order to make these relationships. The number one thing that people tell you is that you don't really share how you feel about stuff. Like you don't just keep it down. You're being too much by sharing how you really feel. Anybody ever said that they heard that they were extra? They were doing a little too much. They need to tone it down, calm down, be the person to fit into this group. This is an overwhelming message. You need to fit in. Get in where you fit in. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's only going to cause you a lot of pain and frustration if you believe that that's how you create a meaningful relationship. Do what they want. Be what they want. You know what? Most people out there don't even know what they want. They don't even know what they want. They're screaming out like, I want friends. And you go up there and you present this person that you think they want you to be. Like, I grew up in the 90s and there was a trend of being goth or emo, this or that. There's a trend for something all the time. And if you aren't really a person who likes goth stuff, rock and roll music, if you're not a person who cares for the emo thing and you're not like all in your feelings all the time, you're listening to this kind of music, you're listening to the emo rock or emo music, you're not listening to that kind of stuff, and you show up to people who genuinely believe in this stuff, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. They're going to be on to you. They're going to see you. Look, you're fake. Fake. You're fake. Nobody wants to be called fake. They spotted you. They spotted you. They know you're not one of them. What do? Well, just try to get in where you fit in. Well, this isn't the right place to fit in. So you go and try this one another thing. Maybe you take up a hobby that you're really not interested in so that you can fit in with this group. You don't like it as much. It's kind of okay. It doesn't really bring you joy or strike your fancy, but you're just like, yeah, well, I'll be here. They're going to catch you too, because you're not going to be enthusiastic. You're going to be bored and frustrated. And you're hoping, I know this is what I did. I was hoping eventually that if I just stuck around long enough and did the things that they like, eventually they'd want to really get to know me. Eventually I could come out and show more of who I was. That didn't work. That didn't work. Any insight on why people isolate from loved ones when they're having a hard time in life? That's a really great question. I can't even read your username. Soon. Back soon. Why loved ones, well, people isolate from loved ones. I'm going to take you on a journey to answer that question because I want to give some real insight and actionable steps. Stay with me on this. Stay with me on this. If you like what I'm saying, please tap the screen. I'm here. Follow me. Give me a follow because I love you and I want to support you. It's the worst thing in the world to not be able to make those relationships. The relationships are everything. They are. They really are. The quality of money that you make, the clothes that you wear, the music that you hang out or listen to, it doesn't, whatever it is that you've got, the food that you eat doesn't compare to having these great relationships. So the question is, oh, I'm so glad you're on the journey with me. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go. Let's go. Any insight on why people isolate themselves from loved ones when they're having a hard time in life? Let's talk about love. All right, this is my definition of love. I want you to stick with me with this. Love versus hate and all this, because we talked about loved ones. If we have this idea of love, love is understanding. Love is, I understand what you're going through. I understand how you specifically, I understand how you feel about your experiences. And you also know that I understand how you feel about your experiences. This really brings us together. If you understand me, we're speaking the same language. You speak English, I speak English. Boom, pow, we got it. We've got something, we're communicating, and you understand the things that I'm saying to you. And I know that you understand because of the conversation that's going on, right? So if we think about it this way, in the love is understanding. Boom. We've got this person who's got something going on, and it's intense. It's really intense. And we've got maybe this loving family member out here who has got their own ideas about what's going on right here. This person is suffering. We see it. Getting messages. Thanks for the likes. Love requires awareness of self and others. Yes, it does. Requires awareness of self and others. And I like to drill it down to say specifically how they feel about their experiences. How they feel about their experiences. What are the things? So this person out here is suffering. I've got stuff going on. This is the representation of all the things and the frustration that they've got going on. And it's usually not super clear. There's a lot more things. I would say it's messy. More messy, something like that. It's just, it's cloudy. It's, I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what's going on. I'm overwhelmed. And it's just inside of their head. Love is easy. If it's hard, then it's not love. No need to break it down. It's too much thinking. 𝘬𝘁𝘪, 𝘬𝘁𝘪, like that. 𝘬𝘁𝘪. Welcome, 𝘬𝘁𝘪. Very glad to hear your thoughts about this. If you'd stay and just kind of break it down, this will be easy for you if you understand me. It's easy for you. Easy. Okay, show me some love. All right. This person is struggling to figure out what's going on inside of them. They're struggling to. They may not know. That's one reason why they're not coming to you for support and community. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to say it. Because this is the key. This is all their thoughts and ideas and intentions and everything they're really feeling is up here. You can't know that unless they tell you. They tell you. Unless they tell you, unless they say. And it's catastrophic. It's crazy. It's wild up here. And they don't even know how to. It's a lot of work to break this down and to figure out, how do I get these words out? What am I really feeling? And then on top of that, on top of this, they don't know how you're going to respond. They have no idea about what's going on in your mind, how you're going to respond, what you're going to do, how you're going to say the thing to them. They just got no clarity about what you're thinking. I think it's more like over here. Let me do a better representation of this because we're focused on this person. A better representation of this would be you, and they don't know what you're thinking. That's your thought bubble up there, if you can see it. Your thought bubble, and they have no idea. It's a question mark. They don't know what you're going to say if you tell them, if they tell you, if they try to work this out with you, they don't know how you're going to respond. This is all happening with them, not with you, right? It's all happening. It could be any number of reasons that this has happened for them, because maybe they've had terrible life experiences where they did open up and it did say, hey, I'm suffering. Something's wrong. Please help me. I don't know what to do. And what the world loves to do, everybody has done this, and I know I've done this too, to my friends unintentionally. I've said, well, here's what you can do to fix it. Here's how you can change your problem. You came to me, and what I heard you say was that you had a problem that you needed me to resolve. This would be me over here. You had a problem that I need to resolve, and that's not what they're looking for at all. They're looking for some understanding and cleaning this up and clearing this up and figuring out what's going on with them, why they're feeling such and such a way. They just want the baseline of, do you understand how I feel about my experiences right now? I don't need a problem solver. I don't need this to be fixed. I really need you to just sit here and listen and help me work this out. What I like to use this analogy is like there's a bunch of stuff happening inside your head, right? And so you just want to tilt it to the side, tap, 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 and dump all that stuff out. Tap, 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 dump all that stuff out. Get some clarity about this mess that's going on here. I need you to be able to sort this out for me. Got all this stuff on the table. I'm overwhelmed by looking at it. I'm overwhelmed. Help me, please. They don't know. So the reason why they may not come to you is because they don't know that they can trust you to do that. May have nothing to do with you at all. Maybe you've demonstrated that you can help and support them by listening to them, and they still won't come to you. It may have something to do with them feeling shame. They still may not believe that you're going to help them in this particular situation, not help them in the way that they want to. In short, they don't feel loved. They don't feel loved because they're convinced that you do not understand exactly what it is that they need. They're convinced. It may have nothing to do with you. That's one reason. That's one major reason why. Does that make sense, y'all? If you're here with me on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, let me know. Say hello to me. I'd appreciate it. I'll say hi back. I'll wave to you back. I'll give you a little shout out. Say, what's up? I'm glad for you to be here, but does it make sense? This makes sense. Let me know. Tap the screen that let me know that you're alive. Alive. All right. Oh, it doesn't make sense. Okay, it does. Some people are tapping the screen. I appreciate you. Do you have any questions about this here, right here? It's all on their side. Oh, Jerry, are you still here? Does this make sense to you? I couldn't help it. I just wanted to. I know you're trolling me, but I'm glad it makes sense, Mosab. So here we are. So what do we do with this person? What do we do with this person being in this situation where they're convinced that they are absolutely alone? This person, this is me, this has been me for a very long time, feeling like, oh, Jerry's still here. What's up? I've just been feeling completely alone. Like, I don't believe that this person will understand me. I don't believe it. Oh, snap. Thank you so much, Jerry. All the gifts. Look at this. This is wild. But this person, this was me for a very long time. I believed that people just wouldn't understand me. I didn't even know how to say the thing. I didn't even know how to say what was going on. I didn't even know, honestly, that I needed that I needed the help and support that way. So many gifts. Much love. You've demonstrated it. You demonstrated it here. So with this, where people can't say what they really need because they may not know it. They may not know it. So if you are this person who is observing, who wants to help, if you see this, they have withdrawn from you. They withdrawn because they have more stuff. It's just overwhelming. It's wild. They don't trust you. And you're like, well, I've never given them a reason not to trust me. Then recognize, this is what I would recommend that you do. Recognize that this behavior has nothing to do with you personally. They've got their own things to unpack and deal with here. If you are in this situation and you're confused, a bit frustrated, saddened, the first thing you need to do is handle those feelings of your own. Your feelings of your own. If you want to show up for this person, then you don't get to bring your feelings to the table. You don't get to bring them out. You don't get to tell them about how frustrated you are. Why didn't you come to me when you needed me? That sounds like shame. They've already got a bunch of stuff floating around in their head. They don't need more of whatever you've got going on with you. They don't need to take care of your feelings because they're overwhelmed by their own. You don't bring that. You don't bring your sadness to the table either. You don't bring none of that to the table. You have to handle that first. If you're stepping into this space, you're demonstrating that you understand them by just listening. By just listening and affirming all the things, all the reasons why. Anything that comes out of their mouth, they say, yeah, okay, wow, that's wild. You might have, because it's all messy, it takes high emotional intelligence to be able to decipher and sort this stuff out, to hear what's going on here. You might hear some sadness. Got sadness. I talk about these the four basic emotions that are just readily identifiable. You might hear some fear come out. You might hear some fear. You might hear some anger. All this stuff that's going on. And it's not clean. It's not clear. You have to be able to decipher what's coming out of this messy thing here. And be able to reflect it back to them and tell them, yeah, of course you feel this way. Of course you would. All the things that are happening, that's you sorting the stuff out to the table, sorting the stuff out on the table. Good morning, SRT. Good morning. You have to be able to sort this stuff out, help them sort this stuff out. Because right now, if they come to you, they're just going to be like, tap, tap, tap. All this stuff is going to fall out. All of it's just going to fall out. And it's like, it's just so much of it. Where is the cut and the frustration of even having and recognizing there's so much stuff? It'd be frustrating. It'd be an experience for them. And again, you have to be able to hold space for them. Recognize that it's not about you. It's not about you. If you really want to help them, you hold space for them. So that's what we talk about. That's what I teach. I teach something called strategic vulnerability that helps people with this too. So if you're a person who is like right here and you recognize yourself in this, you've got a lot of stuff going on, you're afraid to share with other people. I teach you how to figure out what you want to share to make sure that they're capable of holding space for you. So if you're this person stuck, you're not sure about how people are going to treat you, then you test them. You share a little bit of this and a little bit of that and see if they can handle it. See if you like what they do when you share something vulnerable, right? It's the ultimate litmus test. It's really the ultimate litmus test. Here you go. I'm going to share something with you to see how you respond to me. Oh, you criticized that. Oh, you shamed me? Oh, you judged me? Oh, no, thanks. You don't get to know me any deeper. I just know that you're not capable of helping me handle all this stuff. And I want somebody in my life who can do so, whether they are a friend or a family member, whether they're a coworker, whatever it is that you bring to them. If they're not capable of holding space for you, then I recommend that you just get out of here. Not actually get out of here, but really just create space between you and that person, because you're only going to cause yourself a lot of pain and frustration if you try to tell them and change them. It's like didn't you learn before that they don't like anything that you like? Why are you trying to drag them to the opera? They don't want to go. They criticize it. They don't want to go to the ballet. What stops you from finding that person who does want to go to the ballet, who does want to go to the opera, who knows the artists, who knows the dancers, who's just as excited about it as you are? To answer that question, it's usually that we don't believe that there's anybody else out there who can. We've got all these great qualities of our friend. We're looking at them, all these great qualities of our friend, and like, oh yeah. And they do this and they do that and they do that, but they hate the thing that I really love. They don't really like the thing that I want to do. But this, but that, but the next thing. All the buts, all the but this, but that. Those are the important things that you want from them. It's okay to keep this person in your life. It's okay, you're just not as close. Because you're going to spend your time being close to someone who just frustrates you and doesn't understand, doesn't love you the way you want to be loved. Mary Lou Hui. Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing today? But you'll find yourself separating from your friendships and your relationships if you're not able to talk about those things that are real, true, and important and interesting to you. You're going to. This is a separation of it. They won't share because they're afraid of how you're going to respond. It may have nothing to do with you, even though you're a loved one. There's something going on with them. I want to reiterate, also, I want to iterate for the first time. It's not your responsibility to do this. But if you have a high EQ, you can do this. It's exhausting. It can be exhausting. That's why there are therapists out there, because you won't be seen. You won't be heard. How you feel about them disappearing is not to be acknowledged until they clean this stuff up. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You do it to the capacity that you want to, that feels good for you, but you're not obligated to do that. That's where I come in. That's where professionals come in, and they do those kind of things, and they help people in that way. Right? Any more questions? Anybody have any questions about this or other things? I'm happy to answer. I think our topic today was drifting away, something along those lines. Drifting away. Oh, how to recognize when you and your friends are shifting apart. That's what it is. How to recognize when you and your friends are moving apart. Does anybody have any relationships that are currently, they seem like they're not as close, like you were with somebody, they're not as close as they were before? It's just pulling away. You know, I had this friend that I'd known for 20 years, and we were just we met in college and we were growing apart. After college, we grew apart. They were on a different trajectory, getting married, going to grad school, getting married, having kids, and doing all the things that society basically says. And I was just like wandering around the universe, the world, just confused and a bit frustrated. I'm like, how come I can't even connect with people? What is this? And I had relationships that would just fall apart. All of them. Friends, family relationships weren't that great. Romantic relationships weren't great either. I saw people with red flags and things that I didn't like, and I knew I wouldn't like, but I was like, well, this is what I got. This is what I'm working with, and I can't find anything better. So this is what it is. And I had seen that example in all the kind of relationships that I've ever seen. It's like, well, people just get with people, and there's like a level of discomfort or frustration that you deal with in relationships. You just be there and you push it down. If you're upset about something, you push it down. You don't express how you really feel about things. You just push it down. And that's every relationship I've ever been in. And then with so much pushing it down, it's like having a basketball, every incident where you're frustrated and you don't say how you feel because perhaps you don't know how to express how you feel. You just push it down. It's like, here's a basketball. Now hold it underwater. Here's that one instance. That's just that one instance. Hold it underwater. You keep it there. And then here's another one. Keep it under there. And then more and more instances happen that are unexpressed. And you're just holding all this stuff down. Hold it down. And then one day, in all your glory, you let it out because you can't hold it anymore. It's exhausting. They picked at you for the very last time. You're frustrated, and you get justified in that frustration too, because I've been holding all this back for the sake of our relationship. I've been doing hard work, and you don't understand. I would do that all the time. In my podcast, I talked about that back in the day when I first started my podcast. I used to have lots of music and fun storytelling bits. It was almost like a radio play. And I talked about how I did that with my relationships. Just put it in there, put it in, and then one day it explodes. And as it explodes, I'm like, I think I equated it to stuffing a suitcase or something like that. You just put it in there, and then one day it pops out, and there's clothes everywhere. And then after the aftermath, I see there's clothes and stuff all over the place, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let me get that. Let me get those pants. Let me get those socks and put it right back in the bag and carry it with me, keeping the same frustration with me. That's what I would do, and it didn't hurt. It hurt my relationships quite a bit. I feel like all my friendships end up there eventually. We're frustrated with each other, resentful of them. Yeah. I'm usually surrounded by people who think I'm too sensitive when I express myself. That's me. I'm too sensitive. Like, people will say that I'm too sensitive. I just know that they can't feel as much as I do. It's the same for you, Chloe. What's going on, Smiles? When you're in these relationships, when you're around people who don't understand you, this is the peace. This is the peace. Like, you don't understand you. You get to make a decision on whether or not you want to be close to those people. It's not them who's doing the deciding. You are the person in your life who decides whether or not you want to bring these people closer to you or have them a little further away, closer. You get to do that. And when people tell me I'm too sensitive, I'm like, okay, I heard you say that. That means when I express how I really feel about things, and I know that's the key to connection, is telling people how you feel and having them understand how you feel, you just won't get it. It's going to go over your head, or it's going to go aside or around or whatever. You're just not going to get it. And I'm set up for frustration if I continue to have feelings, in which I will, because they're always going to show up, and I express them to you, and you don't understand it. I'll be like, this is one time. It's a trick. Just this one time, maybe they'll understand. No, they didn't get it. Maybe they'll get it the next time. Maybe they'll get to the 4th and the 5th and the 30th time. No, it's a trick. No, they're not going to. It's up to you, like it was for me, to be empowered to recognize that this is the pattern in your relationship. You say something that's meaningful to me or to you, and they just don't get it. They criticize it. They judge it. They belittle it. Notice that's going to happen, and then decide accordingly. Continue to tell them things. That doesn't feel good when I do it. I'm not going to do that. The next thing people will do, the next thing that I did was, I'm just going to keep it to myself. It's here. I'm going to keep it snugged here. Oh, I have a feeling. Put it right here. I don't share that with nobody, because people don't understand me. People are going to criticize me. People are going to judge me. This is this dynamic right here. And it gets messy in here, gets wild and crazy because you've got so many feelings. Can't trust anybody. They got to come out. But you get to decide whether or not you want to be around those people. So what we do, we hang out here with these feelings inside, and we just don't talk to people. We just know for sure that they're going to hurt us. We know it. We've had this experience. We're surrounded by those people who always say that we're too sensitive. I know that was my thing. I'm like, I'm too sensitive. You're too sensitive. Just suck it up. It's not a big deal. What do I do? What do I do? I just don't want to be around people. 100% of the people that I run into treat me this way. Well, 100% of the people that you run into until you run into the right person. It's always going to be that way unless you start opening up and sharing with other people. And do it in a way that is strategic so that you're not feeling like you're exposed and you're out there to be hurt again, but more like you are empowered and you're able to solve the problem of having people who aren't, who you're able to spot those people who are confused by you, who aren't connected to you, who don't understand you. And you're just able to put them off to the side like, oh, I get that's exactly who you are. I know I don't need to spend time with you. That's good. Next person, next person, next person. And it might feel exhausting. Just hearing that might seem exhausting. Oh, I have to go through so many people. Yeah. But when you go through so many people, you get better at it. You get better at recognizing what it is that you want from people. And you also find yourself in spaces with people who are doing the things that you want to do. So the pick is better. It's a higher quality. You start doing things that are important and interesting to you, start opening up to those people at those places, and then you will see like, oh, you're more likely to be the kind of person that can understand me. How do you get to a point where people's opinion really doesn't affect you as much? Oh, that's a great question. How do you get to this point where people's opinion don't affect you? I always like to say that I value people's opinions. I value their thoughts and their ideas. And I like to toggle in between being me, Lee, the character who's having these experiences and feeling these things, and Lee, the observer who's observing Lee having these experiences. It's all just kind of a, I'm going to do a visual representation of it just to make it easier. But I like to consider how people feel about me and their experiences with me. And I don't want to make it all about me. And the way to do that is to toggle between being me, the person who is having these feelings, and me, the person who is observing the experience. There is me, best stick figure drawer ever. And oh, by the way, if you don't know, um, I have an event coming up before I can jump into this. I have an event coming up. It's about making the Art of Connection. It's the Art of Connection happening July 30th. And if you're struggling to actually talk to people, so you might have an idea of what you're looking for out there, but you're not really in tune with the social skills, what we're going to do with this webinar, it's a virtual webinar and it's happening July 30th. You can find the link in the profile. Art of Connection. It's how to engage with and meet new people. It's happening Tuesday, July 30th at 7 p.m. And you can get your tickets. You can go here, go to the link in the profile, get it. So what we're going to do with this workshop is help you with icebreakers, open body language. So what to do to look more inviting for people to actually come to you because you want to attract the right people. Icebreakers, listening and responding, a bit of storytelling and for engaging conversations. And you're going to be able to practice this stuff while on the call because that's the key to making meaningful relationships. That's the key to everything that I do is I want it to be actionable steps. Actionable. You're not going to just come to be inspired. Oh, you should do this. You should do that. No. All right, here's the thing. Demonstrate that you can do it. And then you can feel empowered to go out there and do it yourself. So go to the link in the profile, get your spot before all the tickets are gone. All right, back to this thing about being Lee, the person who's having this experience, and Lee, the person who's observing the thing that's observing. Is that creepy? Those eyes, these like private eyes are watching you, watching me. Okay. So there we go. So you're this is you. This is you and this is you. So this is you and other. And this is you. 2.0. I like that. You 2.0. This is you having a feeling about the experience that you have with this person. So boom, they say something to you. They said something to you, read, and inside you felt something. It was not good. It was frustrating. I'm mad. I don't like it. Let's put a smiley face on them, because sometimes people really try you. They really try you. They're happy to make you upset. They're happy to force you to be upset. So here you are having this experience with this person, and you're like, oh, uh, I don't want to care about what they think about me. I don't want to care. I don't want to care about what they think about me. This person, this you character you will be like, oh, you're having this experience. It's tense. You feel like frustration. You're feeling the sadness or whatever. You're feeling the rejection that's happening because they're saying something to you about you. You value what they say to you. You do. You just try not to, but you do. What I like to do is like toggle up here and think about and consider like myself as a character. What's important to me about what they're saying? What's important? Because you asked about not caring, not letting their opinion affect you. Their opinion. We're trying to we're trying to get as much information as we can from the situation, but you wouldn't be able to do it if you're focused on how upset you are. We go up here and be like, oh, what's going on with this person to make them think that they could talk to me this way? Or what's going on with this person that makes them believe that it's okay? You can look at this person here too and be like, why is it so important for them to care? Why is it so important for them not to care? What's going on with this person? Reflecting is really the key. Reflecting on the experiences that you're having with this person. You need to move up here though. Move away from the experience. When we write it down, take some notes. We write it down, and then come back to the experience later by reading it, asking yourself some important questions about what's valuable about their opinion of you, because there's something there. Observe. You're not in the situation anymore. You're not there anymore. You wrote it out. It's outside of your body. That goes with everything that you do. That's why we're talking about reflecting, journaling, do those kind of things so that you can observe. Redirecting your energy to observation. Yes. Observe yourself. What's so frustrating about that to you? What is it? Go figure that out. And then you'll recognize that maybe it's not so frustrating. And then you get to be able to look at them and say, well, what's going on with them in their life? What is it why do they believe that they need to talk to me this way? What's going on? You'll be able to see people a lot clearer once you clean up what's your own frustrations. So as far as, getting to a point where people's opinions don't really matter, everybody matters for me. I like to think about how I like to consider and care about the things that they say to me. I move up here. I think, why? What are they trying to tell me? What do I need to know about this person because they're saying something hurtful to me? Maybe they've been hurt before. It doesn't affect the opinion of how I see myself. And that's really the key piece. I believe how I feel about things is more important than anything else. And I believe it's the same for everybody else. How you feel about your life and your experiences is the utmost important thing to focus on. Not what everybody else thinks that you should do. But why is that not true for you? Why do you believe that this person is more important? Their feelings about you is more important. That's a question for us to answer. So that will get rid of this. And then you could consider, well, maybe they're saying something to me that's valuable and I'm having a reaction to it. Maybe like criticisms and judgments, those seem like bad, terrible things. Feedback, that's a better word. feedback, when people give you feedback and you get offended by it, it's like, well, they were trying to help. I didn't appreciate that. But after some consideration, it seems like a good idea. But I don't want to tell them that. I don't know why. Why wouldn't you want to tell them that? There's some other stuff going on. Lots of emotional mess that we could get ourselves into with that. But considering, if you had not the ability to consider that their idea might be good, you would have missed out on something valuable to you. If you heard it as a judgment or a criticism, you may have missed out on something that's valuable to you. So getting clarity around this space is important. That's part of connecting with people, is understanding more about you. It's everything. It's everything, really. It is everything. So I think I started to talk. I hope that helped. Let me know. Tap the screen, share with people, say hello, do all those cool things. In the meantime, I think I wanted to talk about moving away from people. Not moving away from people, but I keep saying it differently. Recognizing when you and your friend are just separating from each other. I appreciate that. I'll try it next time I'm triggered. Yes. I'm glad. So anybody else have any questions? I'm usually on from Monday, Wednesday, Saturday until 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Oh, I had a question. Like, y'all usually show up here in the mornings, but I wonder if I started going live in the afternoons, would that be something that'd be cool to do? Because I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm refreshed in the mornings. I want to talk. I'm like, yeah, bouncing. I've got so many ideas. But I was thinking maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And nobody has any thoughts on that. All right, I love y'all anyway. I remember when you used to go live in the afternoons. Yeah, I used to. Hey, good morning, Curtis. What's going on? I'm just now seeing you here. Yeah, I used to go live in the afternoon, so I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I was going to talk about how while we're separating, how to recognize you're separating from your friends. If they can't understand you, that the whole key piece to all of this is, and connecting with people authentically, is to be able to share how you really feel about your experiences. If you don't know how you feel about your experiences, if it's confusing to you, if you don't have the right EQ or the words to say to other people, then you're not going to be able to connect with them. If you're constantly around people who just can't understand what you're saying and you trying to get them to understand, you're going to be frustrated with them. Go find people who really understand you. If you're afraid to go find people that understand you, then we need to address what stops you from finding other people. Oh, I've known this person for 10, 20, 50 years. I can't just let go. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can absolutely. You either let go of the relationship and see it for what it is and be okay that they're not going to appreciate and understand you, no matter how hard you try. Right? Right. So when we have this idea of watching our friends transform, they transform in front of us, we're going to transform too. I mean, we transform. The thing is that if you had a friend when you were like 5 years old and you're a little kid and you start off at this point, you two together, you're connected because, oh, life is easy. Look, I'm not even drawing people anymore. Life is easy. Life is easy. You're just like, oh yeah, we got the same kind of lunch boxes and we go to the same kind of school. And so you're just the two dots, there's two people and you're connected. Boom. We have the same homework and we live in the same neighborhoods. Our parents hang out together. It's really easy to be connected here because you haven't had a bunch of life experiences that will pull you away from each other. There you are, 5 years old, hanging out, eating the same kind of lunches or whatever it is that you do at 5 years old. And then you grow up and you have more life experiences. This is high school. Your music changes, your fashion changes, the kind of things that you're interested in, it might change and you get a little further away from each other. You start moving a little further away from each other, right? You have different experiences that you can't feel the same way about. They don't like emo music. You love it. Okay, not a big deal. Not a big deal. You can still hang out. You still do homework together. You still have these part-time jobs. You still have the same kind of crushes on the people, whoever you're dating, whoever your preference is, the humans that you like, and you still talk about those things. The fact that you're separated a bit by your taste in music is not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But then we have these other values that start to come in. All right, here we go. We're after college. College grad. Terrible. Just say grad. There we go. College grad will separate a little more. We're separating a little more because now life is really happening. You moved away. You got a different job and you can't talk to each other as much. You got married. You've got kids. They went for a major that you don't understand, and they want to talk about this major all the time. They want to talk about biochemistry, and you're an art major. How? How can you? What was the thing that you had in common at the very beginning? Ooh, you're not even going to the same school anymore. What is it that keeps you connected here in this space? When we get here, we was like, I don't know. I've known them. So you're like, at this point, you're probably 22, 23. Well, I've known them for almost 20 years. That's the thing that keeps us connected. This is the thing that keeps us connected. Time dashes. But you're not close to each other anymore. And you start drifting. You're not close to each other. And this is just in our 20s. Just imagine these kind of other life experiences that have happened. Let me know in the comments, is there a life experience that you noticed? That as soon as it happened, it's like, wow, it's separated. They bought a house. They got married. They got divorced. Maybe you changed your diet. Maybe you stopped drinking and partying, and they still do it. You said that separation. I know them, but I cannot relate to their experiences today. I can't. I'm not connected to it. And there's the sadness that will appear. Let me know in the comments if you have some experiences that have shown up that started your relationship like this. And we're in our early 20s still. I'm in my 40s. Ugh, I said that. I'm 41. I'm barely in my 40s. I'm barely in my 40s. But we have these, and then more stuff happens. And more stuff happens. This is just time. They're doing whatever they were doing, they had planned on doing. Now they've got kids. Well, they've got kids in maybe marital troubles. And here you are, never married. You had a string of relationships, but here you are, never married. You are living your best life. You're out there traveling and doing stuff. They've just drifted so far away from you. We want to bring this stuff together. We can try and bring this back together. We can try to get back to each other. We can try to get back here. Quite often what we'll do is we'll look at this right here. We're like, this is where we were the closest. Maybe even in high school. Remember these days we weren't so far away from each other. Remember that stupid emo music that you liked? Yeah, I was into it. I was so wild. Wow. You can remember, you can reminisce on those things. But as you get through this right here, things are not relatable. They're not relatable. And they're not relatable here either. And then you're like, well, how do I get to this place if you're all the way over here and you want to bring it back? Reminiscing will just be there for a moment. It's just a moment, just a tiny moment. I reminisce. I love the thing that we used to do together, but where are we going together today? Can you understand my life when I'm so far apart from you today? Can you understand that? One of you has to try. Both of you, if you do it, then you can connect. Understanding how they feel about their experiences is the real key, right? We're in this space where you're already separating and you're talking about, in grad school, we were talking about how you could, or you graduated and now you have this major. You have this major or this whole new value system that wasn't there before because you had some life experiences. You have to demonstrate that you understand how they feel about those experiences, how hard it was to get their degree. Congratulations, how fun it is for them to do this biochemistry stuff. You have to recognize that. You have to be in that space with them, right? Don't not just dismiss it. Oh, that's stupid, or it's way too hard for me. I don't understand why or how you ever did that. No, that you're going to disconnect. That's why I don't talk to you in the first place. They really love this thing and they can't share it with you. There's a lot of work on your end to do this. It takes two, both of you, because you went into a different major and you've done different things in your life you want to share with them without criticism, shame, judgment, blame. Boom. You want to be able to do that. They need to be able to do this for you too. So if your relationship is falling apart, you have to start talking about how you feel about those real things that are happening to you. If you're hiding this stuff, you're hiding your marital issues from your friend who's single and seems like they're living their best life, then you're going to struggle with connection. If your friend who seems like they're living their best life is constantly on the road, is tired and frustrated, but only shows the best Instagram pictures to the world, they're going to be you're going to be frustrated. Like, they're not going to connect with you either. Y'all don't lie to each other. Basically, it's the thing. If y'all supposed to be close, don't lie to each other. This is how you bring it back. It takes tremendous emotional intelligence to recognize that they have this experience and how they feel about it, and putting yours away because maybe you're jealous. You wish that you could live their life. Whatever comes up for you, that maybe you're embarrassed about your marital issues. If you're embarrassed about that stuff, who else? This is supposed to be your close friend. They were there for you before, right? Give it an opportunity to bring it back. Give it an opportunity to bring it back. So if your relationships are failing, I want to share 3 things. And I talk about this in my Meaningful Connections workbook. If you'd like to grab a copy of that, go to the link in my profile. I'll show you real quick. Go to the link in my profile. Meaningful Connections workbook, or have a conversation with me. Oh, TikTok. TikTok always does that thing. Right here, go to the link. Boom. And you will see that it says, be scared, be afraid. But you don't be afraid, you be brave. And you go on, you click that link because you're not going anywhere but to this page. You can have a friendly conversation with me. We can talk about what's going on, map out a plan to actually figure out how to get back here with these people. At least give an opportunity, because you may not know what to say or how to say it. You don't want to fight talking about your life experiences. You want to be open, honest, and authentic. And this person who has known you for decades, we want to hope that they're able to do it, to able to listen to us, to be able to care and be considerate about how we feel. That's what we're looking for, right? So, boom, there's a friendly conversation. Have a friendly conversation with me. But I had talked about, there's the webinar, how to meet and engage with new people. But also down here, got a podcast, all kinds of stuff. Don't get too distracted. Right here, Meaningful Connections workbook, 50 questions for conversation, to bring it back, 50 questions for conversation. So I'm going to give you 3 things, and then you're going to go download that workbook so that you can actually put them to use. All right. 3 things to connect on. So we talked about 1, which is history. That drives me crazy. I can't. No. Okay. History. Boom. History. Right here. This is reminiscing about the days, the things. This is like the fun things that'll bring you together. Similar history. That's why you're always together. What's going on, Lizard? I am a lefty. I'm a lefty, creative lefty. History. Those are things that bring us together. Remember when? And we like to talk about those joyful things. Whatever is important about your history in your life, they may not know all of it. It's great to start talking about it. Remember what happened in grad school? That thing, you weren't a part of it. Maybe you didn't share it with them. Share, open up, start talking about those things. History, you got to connect on that. Your hobbies, if you want to maintain your relationship going forward, if you want to maintain your relationship going forward, your hobbies are those activities that bring you joy. Your hobbies are your activities that actually bring you joy that you're doing today. Okay? It's not things that you aspire to do or wish you could or maybe wanna. It's things that you do today. It's part of your routine. It is who you are. Those things that can connect you. So this is where you can discover if they are able to connect with you. Because you want to keep something in common. We are always attracted to the joyful things, the fun and excitement in our lives. We're attracted to those things. And if you both have that in common, then you'll come closer together. You will come closer together because they're going to make time to do this joyful thing. And you're going to make time to do this joyful thing. You're already doing it. Do it together. And then talk about how fun it is. There you go. You start building that relationship up again. 2, history, hobbies. History is like base point where you start. Hobbies, the things that you continue to do. And this one, many people miss it, but this one is your habits. Is your habits. Many people miss this. Right here, if we look at this and we look at the kids who have the person who's kids and marital issues, they've got all kinds of things going on in their life that's taking their attention. Maybe they're working too, and they're frustrated and blah, blah, blah. What is it that they do on a regular daily basis? Well, they spend 100% of their time with their kids and their family, trying to fix whatever's happening there, and there's nothing else that they do. You're going to get a bit frustrated if you believe that they're going to make time for you, where you're single and you're traveling the world and you're doing all kinds of fun things. You've got plenty of time to talk on the phone or to go places together. That's not a part of their habits. That's not what their daily routine looks like. They're up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're rushing around. They barely can compose themselves, and they're in bed by 9 o'clock because they're exhausted. Every day that just happens for them. Every day it happens for them. If you don't recognize that that's a part of their habits, then you're going to fight. You need that understanding of that. And then there's also for you, your habits. They need to understand that too. Like y'all both need to understand each other when it goes for that. If it is truly important to you, to them, then they'll make time for you. The thing that will likely bring you back together are these hobbies. How you feel about these experiences that you're having will bring you back together, will help you have a more meaningful connection. Because even if they can't go out with you, they can talk about some of the things that you like together. How was your day? The things that are happening in the day. What's your routine like? How are the kids? Where are they going? And all that stuff. Spending a little bit of your emotional energy to hear that for them will be helpful, even though you don't have kids and you travel the world. Right? One more H. I don't have another H. We've got 3. I like to roll in 3s. Thank you for the compliment. An excellent alliteration and the gift. Hubris. Hubris. What does hubris mean? Does anybody know? I've heard that word. I think it's all because of what do you call that show? Futurama. Hubris. Let's see what the definition is. Excessive pride or dangerous overconfidence. Oh, no, that doesn't fit. Excessive pride or dangerous overconfidence. That doesn't fit here with this building the relationship. It's about understanding each other. It's about understanding each other. It's about recognizing that your relationship is the most important and you want to share. You have to be open up to share with these people. So we're just building and creating and bringing these back together. H is tough. We're gonna bring you back together. This will bring you back together. And you'll have to recognize that your relationship has changed. There are some things about their journey that you just cannot understand. You cannot fathom to the depths. If you've never given birth to a child and they have 10, then you can't fathom. This is where you recognize how your relationship is going to be. You recognize that part of their life you just can't Be supportive as you'd like for them. They may need something else from people who've had their exact experience. That's okay. You serve a purpose. You serve a purpose with them. Hobbies, habits, history, hobbies, habits. You serve a purpose with them. So does that make sense to y'all? Got it? Thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate that. If you like what I'm saying, follow me. Simply follow me. I'm always on these platforms. This is one's my favorite. This is one's my favorite, but I'm actually on this one too a lot. And here, you know what? I just don't like this one. But I'm there. I know I can't say the words because of the algorithm, but I'm there. If you missed the live streams and you'd like to see them, go rewatch them. I have them all archived right here. You can just click the link in my bio. You'll find all the things associated with what I do. I have a podcast. I have a newsletter. I have ample items to really help you make your connections that you're looking for. Everything that I can possibly do to help you make a meaningful relationship. I want to give you some actionable steps to do that. And if you like what I'm doing, if you want to do this faster, if you want to be able to speak your truth, if you want to be able to reconnect with people, if you want to move away from toxic relationships and find people who really authentically believe in you, then jump on my calendar and let's have a conversation, a friendly conversation about what you can do. I'd love to be able to help you with that. And then that's all for me. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and you might see me pop up sometime in the afternoon this week to talk more stuff. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Take care, everybody.